right, so for my next example, I want to do a negative angle. So this is the cosine of negative 7 pi over 4. So now, because this is negative, we're going to think in terms of going this way. So if I go this way, this is going to be still pi, which in terms of force would be 4 pi over 4. And if I went all the way around, this would be 8 pi over 4. But now, between here and here is 4 pi over 4. So this is actually negative. So this will be negative 2 pi over 4. 4 pi over 4. This will be negative 6 pi over 4. So I'm going to 2 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 8 pi when I go all the way around. Well, if I want to know where negative 7 pi over 4 is, it's going to be between negative 6 and negative 8. So this here, my angle going this way, is negative 7 pi over 4. The main reason you need to know this is you really need to know what quadrant it's going to end up in. In this case, it ends up in quadrant 1. Your second step is to figure out what the reference angle is. Well, again, if I'm going from 7 pi over 4 to 8 pi over 4, it's going to be pi over 4. Reference angle is always positive, so you don't have to worry about the sign. But again, because this denominator is 4, I know my reference angle also has to have a 4. So I know my reference angle is pi over 4. Well, what I need to know then is what is the cosine of pi over 4, because I know the cosine of negative 7 pi over 4 is going to have the same value as the cosine of pi over 4. Well, I know the cosine of pi over 4 is also the cosine of 45 degrees. And if I remember my quadrant 1 chart, I know that the cosine of 45 degrees is the square root of 2 over 2. The last thing I need to determine is it positive or negative? In this quadrant, I know everything is positive, so this will stay positive. So I know that the cosine of negative 7 pi over 4 is going to be positive square root of 2 over 2.